Newstalk 620 WWNR is proud to broadcast a Meet the Candidates Forum for the City of Beckley election, live from the King Cole Beckley Auto Mall Arena at the Beckley-Raleigh County Convention Center. Our broadcast is being brought to you by Raleigh General Senior Friends. This broadcast is presented with limited commercial interruption as a community service. And now, here's Market President of United Bank and moderator of today's Meet the Candidates, Jeff Miller.
He's going to make the candidates for for county commission and for mayor aware at the 7.5 minute mark, and then also ring the bell at 8 minutes. So because we are live on air today, we must remain cognizant of the time frame and try not to exceed any time given. The city council candidates will have up to 3 minutes. So this doesn't necessarily mean that you have to use the full 3 minutes. However, we have allotted that time for you. So again, our good friend Scott Hill will give you the 15-second at 2 minutes and 45 seconds, and then he will ring his bell at 3 minutes. As we go through and progress through the program, Debbie Payton will be back here on the stage. We'll start with the county commission, and they'll go to one of the microphones. Debbie will make the next candidate aware, and as they finish, we ask the next candidate to come up to the other microphone that's available so we do not have any dead time on live air right now. So before we get started, I do want to announce and recognize all the candidates that we do have in attendance today. For county, and we'll hold our applause at the very end. County Commission, we have Luke Begovich, David Tolliver. For the mayor's race, we have Dr. Ian Amjad, Rob Rappold, Cedric Robinson. In the city council candidates, we have Tim Berry, Ron Booker, Kip Buchanan, Sherry Hunter, Tony Martin, Tom Sofer, Sam Corey, Ann Worley, Candy Kozar, Frank Williams, Gavin Ward, John Wynn, Walter Leach, James Peterson, Kevin Price, Janine Bullock, and Jeff Shoemate. Thank you so much for coming today. We're very pleased with the turnout of both the candidates and the audience members, and we do want to pay particular attention and thank the members of Senior Friends that stuck around to listen to this. So without further ado, I want to go over exactly what we're going to be doing today. All the candidates received a letter in advance that had questions, which gave them the time to prepare for that and put forth their speech and information there. So we're going to go ahead and start with the county commission candidates. Our first one will be Luke Begovich in alphabetical order. Luke, if you want to go ahead and take your place here on the stage. We sent the candidates for county commission 2 questions. Within their 8 minutes, they'll have the opportunity to say who they are, provide their platform, if you will, but also answer the questions that we provided them. The questions that we sent to the county commission candidates were, do you believe that consolidation of city and county governments is the answer to potential budgetary shortfalls? Also, what is the #1 problem facing Raleigh County, and how do you plan to address it? So we'll go ahead and begin with county commission candidate Luke Begovich. Your 8 minutes starts now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here. First, I want to thank everybody for coming. I want to thank the Senior Friends for having us at Raleigh General Hospital. Do you believe consolidation of city and county government is the answer to the budget shortfall? I am open for any conclusion to anything that we can work on through the city and the county where we can work together. And the issues that come up, whether it's PSD or working with the drug problem in the area and that, I feel like we can work on those issues and that. Then as far as the main thing I'm concerned about is what is going on in Raleigh County as far as the #1 problem. And the #1 problem I feel like it can answer a lot of these questions is jobs. We've lost 800 coal miners have lost their jobs. I was talking to some of the people out here. 800 coal miners lost their jobs. I'm a rep for the Carpenters Union. I'm over 200 members in the local union hall. I've worked to help work with our contractors to create work with our members, to work into the area of our area, which also creates the drug problem in the area. When people are working and have good jobs with good paying jobs, those jobs also as a deterrent, we feel like is a deterrent to keep you off of drugs. We see a lot of those issues. For example, my nephew right now, I'm raising my nephew for that simple reason of the drug problem here. I'm taking care of him right now. He's living with us. That's one of our big issues. I seen a company last week come in from Ohio, coming to Workforce West Virginia, wanting to recruit good working people in West Virginia to Ohio and other areas, when we should be looking at trying to bring those projects to the area. One of the jobs as the county commissioner is infrastructure. We got a lot of areas in the state that doesn't have infrastructure in those areas. We've got bridges, we've got things that are dilapidated. We got those issues that we can bring good paying jobs, good construction paying jobs to the area, good industry jobs that we can bring to the area. I think that would help Raleigh County out the most. And in those areas, I do believe that. I was riding around, of course everybody has seen my signs and wondering, who is this Begovich? Well, you're getting to meet him today. First time running in office. I'm not a career politician or anything like that. It's my first time running, but I'm a fast learner. I can jump in. I'll give you 100%. I'm on to work in the area. I'm on to work. I'm on to come back to sit down with y'all to find out what can be done and what should be done. I'm a steward of my members' money. I don't waste my members' money in the local Carpenters Union Hall, nor would I want to waste our county money in the county with the county budget and those issues that come. I'm more than willing to, my door will always be open, just like it is with my members. My door's always open, and there, once again, like I said, I will give you 100%. I don't feel like I need the whole 8 minutes, so I appreciate your time, and thanks again for coming.
Thank you, Luke. Also, I did want to make mention that the county commission race is a partisan election. Therefore, Mr. Tolliver and Luke Begovich are, in fact, running under a Democrat or Republican ticket. The Beckley city election is, in fact, a nonpartisan election. Therefore, the May 10th election is the only election that will take place for the city elections. So the leading vote getters out of the May 10th election will, in fact, be the winners of that. However, our county commission candidates will have a primary in May 10th, and then the winners of that will also move on to the general election in November. So now I'd like to introduce to you County Commissioner David Tolliver.
Okay, thank you very much. And of course, I want to thank Raleigh General for the opportunity to address you all. It's my 6th year as a county commission, and one of the questions that they sent us was, what do you think about metro government? Do you think it would be a save on the budgets and so forth? And I had the opportunity to talk to a commissioner from Charlotte last summer about metro government. And as far as would it be a budget saver for the counties and the cities, I think it would. Of course, obviously the biggest thing is you've got to get all the municipalities to agree that you would have one central form of government, which they have board of commissioners down there, which each commissioner has a certain area of Mecklenburg County that they govern. But it takes a good while for this thing to progress, because you have to get each municipality, like I said, to agree, and the citizens agree to turn everything basically over to one particular agency. As far as what is the #1 drug problem, of course, I see prosecuting attorney here, Judge Burnside. As county commissioner, last month, let me throw some figures at you. Our jail bill was $228,000 for 1 month. 1 month. This month, we were told by that our jail bill would actually be higher this month. So last year, we budgeted $2.5 million for a jail bill. It's not going to be enough. We used to average 144 inmates in Raleigh County in Southern Regional Jail. Now we're averaging 160 to 170. So we're going to have to do a budget revision to pay for the jail bill. Now you might ask, well, you know, what can we do to try to get this jail bill down? You got to understand, if hypothetically, if City of Beckley puts in 1,000 inmates, the City of Sophia puts in 60, I'm going by figures 2 years ago, Mabscott puts in 5, let's say Lester puts in 2. The municipalities do not pay 1 penny for these inmates they put in Southern Regional Jail. Raleigh County has to pay for every inmate from Raleigh County. It doesn't matter, like I said, municipalities, we have to pay the bill for everyone. And you take $2.5 million. One of the things that when I started as commissioner, my number one priority was the budget. And with Kay and Bird on the commission now, we're a firm believer in staying within our budget. Absolutely staying within our budget. And the last 3 years, we have put over $1 million extra on paying the judicial building off. So past December, we paid $1.2 million extra, and the judicial building is yours. We saved over $250,000 in interest by paying the judicial building off. And also, the thing that we have done is water and sewer project. When I was growing up, where I lived, a coal mine came under and sank everyone's water. So I know how it feels to be without water. So my number one priority other than the budget was water and sewer. Right now we have a water project going on at Amigle, redoing the airport, and also Bragg, Pluto. We're putting water in out at Bragg for 177 new customers who have never had water. The ones that did, in the summertime, it was so red that they couldn't drink it if it did not go dry. So also sewer systems, we're putting sewer systems down on Pluto Road, Fire Trail Road, Shady Springs Phase 2, and we're in the process of putting sewer systems from Glen Daniels down to Bolt. What we're hoping to do is move the plant from Holly Hills, move it up to Eccles, so we can take care of everything down Route 3, that area for sewer. When you go out and look at these places for sewer, the health department will go with you, and they will take samples of little creeks and streams that go through each community. And there is a couple communities in Raleigh County where the level for certain things, feces in the water or whatever, normally 20 parts per million is acceptable. We have some in the county that's 200,000 parts per million. So that's why we're stressing on health, on sewer systems. As soon as Bragg Pluto water system is completed, every major area in Raleigh County has public water now, from all the way to Whitesville, all the way up Route 1. Of course, out in Shady area, the only one area that we haven't got to yet is Freesand Mountain, and there's 28 homes up there. And as soon as this project is over at Bragg, the money we have left over, that's our number one priority, is to take water up on Freesand Mountain. It's going to be very expensive, but I think we can do it. And the last project we're working on now is at Piney View. We just gave them permission to start putting sewer in 28 homes out there around Piney View Grade School. And then hopefully in 2 years, we're going to take it all the way to Badoff Mountain. Okay? So, again, appreciate the opportunity. Our main our main thing at the commission office now with us three, we will stay in our budget. This year's budget is approximately $3 million less than last year because of the coal situations. Coal companies have filed bankruptcy, and we have already informed the Raleigh County Board of Education, which they get basically 78 cents of every dollar that comes into Raleigh County. We run the county on 18%. The other 4% goes to municipalities. So we got a projection from the assessor's office 3 weeks ago. Last year, there was $3.5 million in taxes that wasn't paid by coal companies. They're projecting this year, $4.5 million will not be paid for this year. So you add those together, you're looking at approximately $8 million just from coal companies alone. Plus, you always project about 10% unpaid taxes for that year. So we have informed the Board of Education, look, 16 and 17 fiscal year, you're going to be in pretty good shape. 17 and 18, it's not beyond recognition that 17 and 18, you're going to be $8 to $10 million less because you get 78%, we get 18. Okay? So, any questions? Real quick. I got a minute and a half. Okay, if not, thank you very much.
Thank you. Before we go any farther, also I want to mention that I failed to name one candidate when I was doing the introduction, and that's Lee Leftwich, who's running for City Council for Ward 5. So I do apologize to Lee. Hopefully he won't hold that against me. So now moving on, also I do want to remind the candidates to make sure we are live on the air, stand close to the microphone, give us that nice politician's voice that you all have. So moving on to the mayoral candidates for the city of Beckley, the same format. We had sent them in advance 3 questions, and we're allowing them each up to 8 minutes to discuss that, provide who they are, background, platform, and answer these questions as well. And just to give the audience what those questions are, we asked them, what ideas do you have to help attract additional businesses and or citizens to the city of Beckley? How do you plan to address the drug epidemic, the increase in homelessness and crime within the city? And how do you plan to keep the city fiscally responsible while encouraging the area to prosper? Again, I would also like to remind you that you're listening to a Meet the Candidates broadcast on WWNR Beckley, 620 AM and 101.1 FM. So now I'll turn the microphone over to the mayoral candidates, our first being Dr. Ayan Amjad. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you to Raleigh General Senior Friends for inviting all of us. I know it's hard to organize a lot of these events, and appreciate everyone staying to listen to what we're going to say. The 3 questions that were posed are very common questions that we've been hearing a lot about in the media, or even in all the other meetings that we've attended. I was going to talk about the first one, about the drug problem in West Virginia. Beckley is our main focus because this is where we live right now. The drug problem is not just a city problem. As you guys know, it's a national problem. It's a public health problem. It is all over the media. There was a recent news article by Obama on CNN about wanting to increase the treatment programs available for people on drugs. The biggest thing I want to say is, in this area, when we talk about drugs, the only things we see in the paper are bad things. We see about the drug clinics being closed, we see about doctors being arrested, and it's tainted this image on the healthcare profession. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a physician, but we need to open our eyes to other things that are going on. The community, the federal government is wanting to impose new rules on treatment programs for patients who are on drugs. And I call them patients because that's what they are. This is a health problem. It's an addiction. It is not just a street problem. We need to open up our eyes and have compassion for people who are seeking help and not put so many restrictions on how they're going to receive help. As a community, if you welcome someone who needs help just like you would any other illness, more likely they're going to want to succeed. So that's one thing I wanted to bring up, that as a community we should find ways to help people who are already on drugs, who are seeking help. There are treatment programs available. Some of them are familiar with everyone, methadone clinics, Suboxone clinics. Out of state, we have inpatient drug rehab programs. We don't have that around southern West Virginia. A lot of patients end up going to the Virginia border to do inpatient treatments, some in Huntington, some up in Morgantown. But we're not going to fix the drug problem by closing a doctor's office or shutting down a drug clinic. That just masks the problem. That puts a little tape on it. Because you have to think, where do all these patients go when we close these clinics? I myself in my office get flooded with calls from patients who are legitimate patients. They do take medicines. They go to these clinics. They're shut down. They're going to withdraw. where do you think they go? I haven't had a chance to do it yet, but I wanted to look at the crime in Beckley and see if it spikes when these clinics close. I just haven't had the chance to look up that information yet. But I bet you it does. I bet you street crime goes up when these clinics shut down. People are desperate. They are desperate to not have a withdrawal effect, I should say. And also the emergency room gets flooded. You know, a biggest thing now is how do we combat emergency rooms from prescribing unnecessary narcotics? There's a hospital in New Jersey, it was just in the news, they are not going to prescribe opioids to any patient that walks in the door. And that's fine. You know, if it's not a legitimate problem, we're not going to want to give that. But it's going to take a whole different set of rules to fix a drug problem. The other issue is about safety in the community. If we have any extra money that comes in through the initiation of home rule and increasing taxes and getting more money, I want that money to go to the police department. I know we have a lack of police officers in the community. That is well known, okay? If no one feels safe in their community, that's also a problem. We are a small town. There is no reason we should not feel safe where we live. Numerous people tell stories of how they put bars on their windows, started getting, ADT, whatnot. That's a big problem. And part of it is the police department doesn't have enough funds to hire who they need. I was told they would like to have at least 60 people. They have about 46 police officers. And they rotate through shifts. That's not enough people. They want more. If we can get money through the initiation of home rule, if we can get money through federal grants, which I believe they've already received some, we also need to encourage young people to join the police academy. Young people in this town, advertising to them in such a way that they feel the need to serve their city, to stay locally, to make an effort. That's how I would put efforts for that. The other issue about businesses in Beckley, I walked through downtown 2 days ago because I wanted to go to the bake shop because she makes nice cakes. There are not any other businesses there besides law offices, which law offices are great, don't get me wrong. We obviously need lawyers around just as much as doctors, but there is nothing else there. Where are you going to, besides 2 bars in downtown, there's the bake shop, which is cute and nice, and she serves other food. But, if you walk another block or 2, you get to WVU's campus, which is supposed to be really good for the community, which is supposed to be wonderful. But I'm trying to imagine if I were there and I wanted to take a walk around, where am I going to go? It would be nice if there were other businesses there, whether it's a little restaurant, a little boutique, something like that. And around town, we do have little stores that are privately owned. There's a Fox Sparrows, I think, and some other little boutiques. If we can encourage them to move downtown, maybe more people would move downtown. The issue with homelessness, I went to the homeless shelter, and one of the big things is to fix the outside porch, which is, yes, it's dilapidated, it's terrible looking. But also a concern of the lady who is the director there mentioned they had wanted the windows fixed for some time, and of course that costs a lot of money. I don't know about, if it was my home, I want the windows fixed so the insulation is cheaper. I bet the heating is really expensive on the wintertime. Why not put funds for the windows rather than a porch? Tear down the porch, make it clean, make it able to sit down, and put money to make the windows secure. Those are just little things that I have noticed as I've been walking through different parts of the city and so forth. But the only way we're going to attract local businesses in this area is if we support the businesses that are already here. And as a community, we have to try to encourage that from one another. If an outsider is going to come in and want to put a business, they want to see how the local ones are doing. I know that when a new business opens, we have a big thing in the paper, there's a ribbon cutting, there's all this fanfare, but we don't know what happens to those businesses afterwards. I would encourage the local newspaper to go back to these local businesses, give them some news, give them some feedback so people don't forget, hey, this business opened up the other week. Let's go back and see them. Let's see how they're doing. Everyone knows that one restaurant, Lavash, on whatever, I don't know what road that is right now, Robert C. Byrd, they changed their name to Little Sicily, which is great. Their business is wonderful now. And they changed their menu around and so forth. So I was happy to see that they stayed. That those owners could have picked up and left, but for whatever reason, they decided to stay in Beckley. They changed the name, they changed the menu, and they're prosperous. They're doing really well. And so part of that goes to the community as well, that they are supporting them. But that's the only way we're going to bring new businesses to this area. So I don't know if anyone has any questions. The reason I'm running for mayor, everyone wants to know, is that I do have different ideas. I have a different vision. I'm born and raised in Beckley. I've been here the last 6 years practicing medicine. the things have gotten a little bit different than what I've seen. I wanted to put my foot in the door and try to change things, offer up some ideas, and go from there. So if anyone has any questions, my time's almost up. I'm open or can meet afterwards. Nothing? All right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And in keeping with alphabetical order here, as I mentioned in the beginning, our next candidate for City of Beckley Mayor's office is Rob Rappold.
Good afternoon, and thank you for this opportunity, senior friends in Raleigh General Hospital, to put forth some of the vision I have for Beckley. Senior friends, that has a nice ring to it. Being 68 years old and following Dr. Amjad, who ran cross country with our son, I need some senior friends, so I'm glad I'm in a room full of them. I am Rob Rappold. I'm the current recorder treasurer for the city of Beckley. Prior to that, I had a 26-year career in the insurance industry as a profit center manager for the first McDonough Caperton, which became Accordia, which became Wells Fargo Insurance Services. During that time, I supervised and managed literally hundreds of employees and was responsible for profit center producing $25 to $30 million in gross annual revenues. So I think that's helped me in my business career. Barb and I have been married for 48 years. We have 4 kids, all WVU graduates, all on their own with their families, scattered around the country a little bit, and with our 5 grandchildren. Regardless of what the future holds or doesn't hold, I think, and Barb would agree, that this is our greatest accomplishment as our family. Regarding attracting business and people downtown or to Beckley, we work very closely with the New River Gorge Regional Development Authority and afford all the tax credits that we can possibly and legally do for businesses that might be interested in locating within the city limits of Beckley. Through Home Rule, which I quarterbacked the effort on Beckley becoming a home rule city back in July of this year, we were able to reduce the B&O class for retail by 20%. I think this is a great incentive for businesses. There are further incentives for businesses to locate downtown, either in the historic district or outside the historic district, with B&O tax credits ranging from 50% for 5 years down to 30% for 5 years if you're not in the historic district. Other ideas. Under my administration, I would like to create a 1 square mile Wi-Fi zone in Beckley. I think the students demand this, and I think the citizens appreciate it. Would afford everybody an opportunity to use their laptops and Kindles downtown. We need to transform downtown Beckley, and we have all the ingredients to do so, into a destination for the arts and the theater, entertainment, fine dining. We have all the ingredients to put this together and do this. We've all been to towns, whether it's locally Fayetteville or Lewisburg or other communities outside of the state, that we just can't wait to get back to because of the ambiance and the atmosphere and the vitality of the downtown area. And that's what we want to do. We want to work closely with WVU to expand their South Kanawha campus west toward the intermodal gateway. If you can imagine what the added foot traffic in 3 or 4 years of 3,000 students making their way from the South Kanawha campus toward the Culinary Center and the intermodal gateway area. Can you imagine what that would mean to businesses and prospective businesses on Main Street, Neville, Heber, and all the side streets? So we'd like to move in that direction. We would like to reevaluate the use of on-street parking meters downtown. And this is not an open and shut issue. There are good arguments for both sides. But when we're fighting so desperately and trying so desperately to attract people to our downtown area, it seems possibly counterproductive to reward them for coming downtown by giving them a parking ticket if they park over a half hour. We need to make downtown Beckley show well. We've talked about this. The task force talked about it. We need to prioritize projects and work with our hardworking Beckley Beautification Commission, the CCC, and our Board of Public Works in repairing and replacing sidewalks, establishing streetscapes, and doing the other things that create the kind of atmosphere downtown that we want. The hole on the corner of Neville and Heber Street will soon become a centerpiece for the downtown Beckley. We've recently received 7 engineering and architectural proposals, which we're reviewing now, and the first project for the chosen engineer/architectural firm will be the hole. Addressing drug epidemic, the drug epidemic, homelessness, and crime. We'll start with drugs. My wife Barb began working with newborns in 1979 at Raleigh General Hospital in the nursery. Back then, drug testing of mothers was unheard of. It wasn't necessary. Fast forward to today when 1 of 3 newborn babies is born addicted. Morphine by mouth is the current protocol of treatment for these suffering innocents. And then following that treatment, weaning them off the drug that they're addicted to requires from 2 weeks to an average of a month additional in the hospital. Additionally, these young people, if not treated, will suffer a lifetime of developmental problems if not treated aggressively at this age. We've all probably heard of Lily's Place in Huntington. It's a 16-bed infant treatment center that specializes in intensive care for babies born addicted. And there's no reason we shouldn't be able to, through a public-private partnership, do the same thing here in Beckley. We've all heard about the West Virginia's problem with overprescribing opioids. Hopefully that's getting better. I read yesterday that there were 13 million less opioids prescribed in 2015 compared to 2014. We must expand the programs like adult drug program, the adult court, which I think has been extremely successful. We need to establish compassionate withdrawal centers for people of all ages. As Dr. Amjad said, drug addiction is not a crime, it's an illness. To drug enforcement, we will continue to participate in the area drug task force, which has been very successful. It's headed up by the West Virginia State Police, and it's comprised of the Beckley Police Department Drug Unit and the Raleigh County Sheriff's Department Drug Unit. This drug unit works very hard to build solid cases that can be tried in federal court where the punishment is more severe for drug dealers. In a recent bust, the drug force seized $71,000 in cash, 2 pounds of marijuana. This task force aggressively builds cases against dealers from Detroit and Columbus who work out of vacant homes, deserted homes in Beckley and out of Beckley motels. I think there'll be more good news along these lines to come. Homelessness. We need a detailed study to determine if Beckley has a homeless problem or if we're confusing the rather annoying panhandlers and con artists that we see on our streets for the homeless. There's an innovative idea that's floating around the area just a little bit by some of our civic leaders. We would like to explore this idea of establishing a unit under one roof that would provide apartments for certain homeless people, would also house social service agencies, and would have a law enforcement under the same roof. Develop community gardens for the homeless so they can once again regain their feeling of worth. Crime, we need to continue to retain our good police officers. We need to continue to actively recruit minorities, which has been a priority for this administration and would be for mine too. We have a memorandum of understanding with the ATF, U.S. Marshals, to investigate straw gun purchases. This is where a legitimate buyer buys a gun with no intention other than to sell it to a criminal or somebody who's not eligible to buy a gun. And I'm running through a few things here. Keeping the city financially responsible The financial fate of the city can turn on a dime. We know that. As Commissioner Tolliver mentioned, you don't lose 800 or 1,000 coal mining jobs without a very negative impact on the amount of money in circulation that further generates taxable income and taxable B&O. So we need to remain vigilant in collecting our B&O. We need to remain business friendly. And although there's been some talk about campaigning to have the mayor's salary raised, I will close in saying that one small contribution I would make to the financial stability of the city would be I would not accept a salary increase. That's not what this job's all about. Again, thank you very much, and appreciate the time today.
Thank you, and just a reminder, you're listening to Meet the Candidates, broadcast on WWNR Beckley, 620 AM and 101.1 FM. So our next candidate for the City of Beckley Mayor office is Cedric Robertson.
Good afternoon. Again, I would like to thank the seniors of Raleigh General Hospital for the opportunity to come and speak and share my platform. And one of the questions that was asked was homelessness. We need to begin the process by acknowledging that homelessness isn't just a City of Beckley problem. It's a Raleigh County problem. It's a West Virginia problem. And it's a national problem. Therefore, we can't expect Beckley to solve homelessness by itself. However, if I'm elected mayor, I am ready and willing to have the City of Beckley take the lead in finding ways to address the issues in our area. Notice I did not say solve the problem, because solving homelessness requires resources that we do not currently possess. But as a start, we must acknowledge that it does exist, that it exists in our own community, and that being homeless is not a crime. We have to understand what it is, where it is, and who it is. We have to start trying to understand what is causing it and what, if anything, we can do to reduce it. But most importantly, we must find the most effective and efficient ways to help those in need. Because helping those in need is what we have always done, and it is what we must continue to do. Helping people isn't a new idea. There are already many organizations, secular, non-secular, governmental, non-governmental, in Beckley and the surrounding areas that are helping the homeless. But they are not unified, and that is where we can help. If I'm elected mayor, I will establish a committee on homelessness and invite representatives of various organizations to participate. The purpose of this committee will be to identify need, coordinate service delivery, and reduce duplications. The committee will also be charged with developing a homelessness strategy and action plan as a long-term approach for addressing homelessness. This should include identifying the makeup of our homeless population and what additional resources may be needed to address the problem. I will assign a resource from within the city to act as a facilitator between these groups. This resource will be somewhat knowledgeable concerning resources available to address the homeless problem, whether it be private, local, state, or federal. Next question was economic development. We all know that Beckley is the economic hub of southern West Virginia, with hospitals and other medical facilities, banks, hotels, restaurants, educational institutions, and all types of support industries. We have also traditionally had many coal mine and coal mine related businesses, but our region has suffered tremendously from the decline in the coal industry. The current regulatory environment means there's little hope for the return of king coal. So we need to shift our focus to attracting other types of businesses. Businesses such as tourism, education, technology. It is our responsibility to ensure that we do all we can to make Beckley an attractive and viable place for business development. For example, the new implemented changes in Beckley's tax structure with home rule will help existing businesses thrive, while encouraging new businesses that as a city we are willing to change to help them succeed. We need to be sure we are marketing ourselves as effectively as possible, and to that end, I will work with the Chamber of Commerce and the regional development authorities to determine what additional steps we can take to effectively market Beckley and our region. However, what may prove to be our greatest asset is the move of West Virginia Tech from Montgomery to Beckley. Tech, with the name and financial backing of West Virginia University, has the potential to be the greatest economic development machine that the city of Beckley has seen in recent years. And as a city, we need to have plans in place on how we can help West Virginia University succeed and how West Virginia University can help Beckley grow and prosper. But at the same time, we have to be mindful that this move hasn't happened yet. And financially, tough times are still on the horizon, at least for the next few years. So we have to be sure we are fiscally responsible and good stewards of the public's money until the benefits of West Virginia Beckley can be realized. And the final question was on crime, regarding crime in our community. As a former law enforcement officer with 30 plus years of experience, I spent time on road patrol and investigations. The majority of my career was with the Detective Bureau, where I ended my career as Chief of Detectives for Beckley Police Department. Since that time, I have seen many changes in and around our community, and not all for the better. With unemployment on the rise and drug abuse, both prescription and non-prescription, on the increase, our crime rate is moving in the absolute wrong direction. And as most police officers will tell you, we will never, ever arrest our way out of this epidemic. Now, I believe in being tough on crime, and I will be. And I believe in being tough on lawbreakers, and I will be. But if we're going to put a dent into what's happening in our city, we also have to be compassionate and understanding to the treatment of addiction. That means everyone working together. With that being said, we must get back to community policing and get officers back in our neighborhoods. Because as a police officer, I couldn't have done what I did without the help of the community. Because the community has always been and always will be the eyes and ears of law enforcement. For this strategy to be effective, we need to get the police department manpower back up where it needs to be. And if I'm elected mayor, I will ensure that we will have people manning the precincts and police officers will be visible in the communities. I believe that we have one of the greatest professional police departments in the state of West Virginia. And for as long as I can remember, the Beckley Police Department has always been one that other municipalities have looked up to. It is therefore my goal and my pledge that if I'm elected mayor of the city of Beckley, that I uphold and maintain that standard. Thank you so much.
Let's give the mayoral candidates another round of applause. I think we've got three great candidates that have put their name in there to run. Again, I just want to say thanks for listening to our special Meet the Candidates broadcast featuring the City of Beckley candidates and the Raleigh County Commission candidates on 620 AM and 101.1 FM WWNR Beckley. So now we're moving on to the City of Council candidates, in which each candidate for City of Council from at-large and each ward will have up to 3 minutes. And following the same regard as we had with the other candidate seats, we sent them a question. We sent them one question, and that was, in your opinion, what's the greatest problem facing Beckley, and what is your solution for that? So now we'll start with at-large. Again, this is in alphabetical order. So the first candidate for City of Council at-large is Tim Berry.
Hello, everyone. I want to thank everyone for coming out. Thank Raleigh General and senior friends for the opportunity. My name is Tim Berry, and I kind of cut my teeth in the city as an 18-year-old policeman to be hired back in 78. I retired from the police department in 93 and was elected to council beginning in 1995. I served 12 years as councilman for Ward 4, rolled off council in 2007, and give somebody else a chance to serve 4 years. In 2010, I was contacted by many of the citizens of the city to run again. I ran again in 2011 and was elected councilman at large. Councilman at large, for those of you who don't know the distinction, councilman at large simply serves citywide. That's why there are two. Councilman at large respond to complaints in every ward. We also deal with bids and make recommendations after working with the recorder treasurer and the department heads who have made the request for equipment or materials. We make recommendations to council to accept or not. So there is kind of a short view of what councilmen at large do. I'm in the community every day. I'm a real estate broker here in Beckley now. And, you know, I have a positive view of Beckley, always have. My family was raised here. I raised my kids here, and I'm happy to say that, you know, both of my kids, my daughters, they work and thrive here in the city. They're property owners, and I'm very proud of them. But what I wanted to just to emphasize was that, you know, it can be done here. Our kids don't have to leave. Sometimes we just have to make our own way. When asked what is the number one issue facing the city, you know, I think for the most part it's the economy. We have to expand on our bases and have a variety and a more diverse opportunities for business. Tourism is a great thing. It's out-of-state money coming in here to spend. You know, we are the hub. We service 5 to 6 counties every day. There are people that come in here from Greenbrier County, Wyoming, Summers, and grocery shop still today. So we need to ensure that and keep that coming here. I take trips periodically to Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. I've also been down to the Waffle House in Wethel. And, you know, I enjoy a good dinner show. And it's wonderful to be able to sit down, have a dinner, and enjoy a show, whether it be a musical or it be comedy. You know, Pigeon Forge has a nice variety in that regard. But I'm always amazed, as much as I enjoy these shows, and I'll turn to my wife sometimes and ask her, why can't we have that in Beckley? I speak to several entrepreneurs here who are ready. They're ready to go. We just need to get them to engage. As councilman at large, I look forward to continuing working in the community every day and serving you if reelected. Thank you again.
Thank you, Tim. And just a reminder, the election May 10th is a nonpartisan election. Therefore, it'll be the only election for City of Beckley. So next at-large City Council candidate is Ron Booker.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Thank you, senior friends, for inviting us and sharing some of our perspectives. Again, I'm Ron Booker, and I'm going to focus on a few issues that I think will make the city more efficient. But firstly, there's a blue card I think I put on everyone's table, and that blue card basically gives a summary of my life. I've been a leader since I was 20 years old. I'm retired military, retired police officer, master's degree, and a couple other things. But I'm running for council because I want to be your councilman. It's not because of the money. We don't get paid much, but I like helping people. And I'm running for councilman at large, in which presently now I'm councilman at Ward 5, because people call me from all over the city to help them. So I never want to disrespect other wards' councilors. So now, if I'm elected council at large, I will be able to work with each councilor, and I'm the full-time councilor. I'm retired. If they don't have the time, well, I'll pick up the slack for them. I know you've read a lot of stuff in the newspaper, but as a councilman, my focus has never been to make any enemies or friends. I am accountable to the public and to uphold the local, state, and federal laws. Electing me will keep transparency, integrity, and leadership within the Beckley administration. I always follow the lead that I've learned in college and experienced as leadership is organizational change and development. Society has changed, and the way that we deal with society must change. And that's where the benefits of being an organizational change and development comes to in handy. Simply identifying the problem, plan a goal, implement the plan, and monitor to ensure the goal is met. And being one of the leaders for the city of Beckley, I think it's very important that we hold our department heads accountable, because every time there's a problem in the city of Beckley, it's because leadership has failed. I'm big on leadership. I've been a leadership leader for over 30-some years. I can take constructive criticism, but I expect our leaders in the city to take constructive criticism. As a city leaders, that's what the number one problem is: public safety. We must focus more on crime solving and prevention by assigning more police officers. First, let me back that up. We need more police officers, but we need to assign more police officers, and I believe in areas of responsibility. I think it's called geographic, since I've retired from police work, geographic policing now. And what that means, I think officers should be responsible for certain sectors in the town that they work. Since I'm talking about the police, I'm going to look at them. I think they need to be responsible for the section of the town that they're assigned to. You don't have to specifically stay in that order, but you should actually be responsible for that area. Take pride in your job. Thank you very much. And lastly, I support you to elect me as councilman at large. And based upon my knowledge, dedication, integrity, and leadership experience, I hope you vote for Ron Booker, May 10th.
Thank you, Ron. Next up for City Council at Large, Kip Buchanan.
Hi, I'd like to give this opportunity to say thank you to Raleigh General and senior friends for being here. Also, I'd like to thank all the candidates up here. What a great turnout. Thank you all, and what passion they must have for the city for everybody to run. I see some circuit clerks, judges out there running. Thank you. I see our mayor out there. Thank you for coming and supporting us, our current mayor. Thank you very much. 2 minutes isn't a lot to talk about, so I'll just give you a very brief history on me. I was born here, raised here. All of my grandparents are in the grave here. They've died here. I'm not going anywhere. I have 3 kids. I have an 18-year-old, 15-year-old, and a 10-year-old. So I'm going to be here for a while. I'm not planning on going anywhere. I love this city. Love this city to death. When I look at it, I see nothing but potential the way we're going. Our future looks great. And we do have problems. With that being said, they said one of the biggest problems I see, which I'm going to shift gears, anybody that knows me, I see our generation, we have two of our best assets is our senior citizens and our children in our schools. And we're hearing in our children, Miss United Way is sitting down there, the problem that we have in schools, it's a generational thing in my opinion. My kids are lucky enough to have 2 parents, adult parents in their house. A lot of the homes don't have that these days. We have to make an initiative, whether it be with the cops, the city cops, county, and getting to these schools. Some of these kids, they need father figures to look up to. And if we can turn that, I know we're talking a generation away, 10, 20 years, but our city is great. It's already great. It can be great. I know Mr. Berry just said that his 2 daughters live here. I would love if my 3 kids could be here, grow up and be here inside the city. As far as the crime, I know the city's doing the best they can. We got police officers in training. We're working with what we have. Other problems I see, the homeless. I agree with Mr. Rappold, Mr. Robertson. We need to address the problem. We have to work together to find a solution for the problem and have to see actually how many people are homeless. Because I do think that there are some people out there that are messing, or, you know, what'd you say, Mr. Rappold? They come, you'll see them on one corner and you'll see them on another corner. So we have to address that problem also. With that being said, I'll just wrap it up real quick. I'm Kip Buchanan. I'm running for council at large and would appreciate your vote.
Thank you. A reminder, this is WWNR Beckley. We're broadcasting from the King Cole Beckley Auto Mall Arena with the Meet the Candidates Forum presented by Raleigh General Hospital Senior Friends. Moving on, the next candidate for City Council at large is Ms. Sherry Hunter.
Hello, everybody. Hello. I'm the most vertically challenged candidate up on the dais. Thank you, Raleigh General Hospital Senior Friends. Who is Sherry Hunter? Why do I want to serve this community? It's the way I'm wired. I can't help it. I love the community. In 2001, I took a new position at the Raleigh County Solid Waste Authority. I was going to talk about trash, litter, and recycling. I never imagined that I would love going to the dump every day. It is fascinating. I was given a task of creating a school recycling program. I want to fast forward 15 years later. Our program is a template that the West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection uses for other counties to start their own recycling programs. In 2003, I was asked by our beloved Charlie Houck to chair a new committee of the Chamber of Commerce. I have been co-chair of Raleigh and Make It Shine, Raleigh County Make It Shine, since its creation. In 2010, 3 years before the Boy Scout Jamboree, our initiatives of cleaning up, using the template of Sherry Sweep, was used in 7 southern West Virginia counties, which also is under the umbrella of the United Way of Southern West Virginia. Thank you, Margaret Ann O'Neill, for everything you do in our community. We live in a great community, and all of these wonderful people behind me have wonderful skill sets. We have attorneys, we have pastors, we have police officers, we have dads, we have financial advisors. But what do I bring to the table? I bring the gift of collaboration. Before I ever was a member of Make It Shine, and before I was ever any of those things, I thought, you know what, litter is something that's unbelievable. And I went to school to learn about it. I went to Keep America Beautiful affiliate training. And all of these issues that we have with abandoned buildings and all these things, if you don't pick up that litter, which is created 7 different times, it isn't always that someone throws something out their car window. Okay, it's always that the dumpster wasn't closed or whatever. I want to thank Anna Gray, who donned a vest in 2002 and was a Raleigh General Hospital litter getter all those years ago. I'm Sherry Hunter. I hope that you will vote for me for one of your 2 councilmen at large. Go Beckley.
Thank you, Sherry. Next up for City Council candidate at large, Tony Martin.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Thank you very much to the Raleigh General Hospital Senior Friends for having us out here today. My name is Tony O. Martin. I'm running for council at large. And, 2 minutes isn't much time for me to kind of touch on what I want to say, but I've tried to compress it as best I can. And that is that I understand the real issues, such as keeping a roof over your head, food on the table, and the lights on. I was born and raised in Beckley. My wife, Jamie, and I have been married for 21 years, and now we're raising our family here too. I'm a senior accounting professional with over 17 years experience helping business owners manage and grow their businesses. And I know that having an effective people climate is essential to stimulating our economy, attracting new jobs, and retaining our talented young people. If we want to live up to the true potential and be the great city that Beckley is destined to be, we must first begin strengthening where we live. That means fighting to build a responsive city government that's based on performance and not politics. The problems we face with prescription drugs, crime, and unemployment are all deeply intertwined, and they're destroying our communities. If elected as one of your 2 city council members at large, I will expand the use of technology and use it to engage our residents and make our city government more open and accountable. I'll be dedicated to working with local leaders, community organizations, and residents to achieve measurable results in combating the prescription drug crisis. And I'll play an active role in creating new opportunities and a sense of place for area youth. I'll work to provide the training and additional resources that our police department needs to enact an effective community policing initiative. And I'll focus more attention on treatment options to help those already addicted and do more to promote and encourage prevention programs to make sure that our children do not fall victim to this tragic epidemic. Leading Beckley forward will begin with listening to our residents and making sure that our neighborhoods are the center of a modern and vibrant city. I'm asking you for your support and your vote on May 10th for Beckley City Council at large, because I believe that once we start working together, we'll start a new tradition of building the best Beckley ever. Again, I'd appreciate your vote and your support. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tony. Some great ideas we've heard from all the at-large candidates. And again, I want to thank all the candidates that have come out. And also, I want to recognize the fact that we have other offices out there, the folks that are running for their respective positions. So we do appreciate that, coming out and meeting some of the folks at Senior Friends. So now we're going to move on to the specific wards that will be up for election in the city election. And first, it'll be Ward 1, Mr. Tom Sofer.
Thank you, Raleigh General, Senior Friends. I don't know if everybody knows me, but my name is Tom Sofer, and I seek re-election for Ward 1 City Councilman. I'd like to take a second and ask, how many of you vote in the city election? Show of hands, please. That's really good. That's great. Do you know what ward you live in? Some do, some don't. Okay. If not, I brought a map. And I'm a history guy, so maps are important to me. And if you look closely, you're going to see the yellow areas. That's the city of Beckley. And then maybe I'm going to talk a little bit more about those white areas in the center, which are not the city of Beckley, which shouldn't be that way, but they are. Ward 1 encompasses Maxwell Hill, Crescent Road, and one side of Northwestern Avenue. City Council votes on city policies such as resolutions and ordinances, helps with events when needed, and most importantly, handles public complaints. I am a very accessible council member and have a strong rapport with each of the city departments. I have lived in Beckley all my life, and I have raised both of my children here, as well as running my family's 75-year-old business. Did you hear that? 75 years. That's a long time. Best Fabric and Foam. It's in Uptown Beckley. I'm an active volunteer in the community, serving as president of the Raleigh County Historical Society. I'm president of Temple Bethel, chairman of the Beckley Mill Committee, a member of the Piney Creek Trail Committee, member of the Piney Creek Watershed, and I'm an active volunteer for the public of the Friends of the Library a book sale. It said, if you want something done, give it to a busy person. Well, that's me. The question today is, what is the city's greatest problem and what is my solution? We all know the problems facing our city: homelessness, drugs, crime, and dilapidated properties. When did community pride go out the window? I don't know, but I hate it. The answer to these problems can be explained in 30 The answer to these problems can't be explained in 30 seconds. But I would like to see the city find ways to add money to its budget, hire a grant writer, use our HUD money to subsidize grants, and look at ways to eliminate the donut holes within the city of Beckley. Our community deserves a high quality of life. We need to do what it takes to reestablish our community pride. Thank you, and please vote.
Thank you, Tom. Next up, moving on to Ward 2, and again, we're doing this all, each seat in alphabetical order. We have 2 candidates for Ward 2, the first being Sam Corey. Thank you, Sam.
Howdy. Y'all got to, that's the way I used to greet my customers when I was in the coal industry. Because if I just went in and said, my name is Sam Corey, never really lifted no eyes. But when I went in and said, howdy, howdy. Hey, this is my first rodeo running for office here in Ward 2. I've lived there all my life, off Pike Street there, married to Elizabeth, have 1 daughter, Kelly, 2 great grandkids. They're twins. And I'm not going to take too much of the time here, but I've seen some things there in my district there. I've got a street that we call the Forbidden Zone. I won't let anybody go around that Forbidden Zone after dark, because there's people down there, I don't know, it's just unscrupulous what's going on. But the city of Beckley, city police department there, they've been patrolling it a lot better here lately, so hopefully we can get that out of the way. The other thing that really gets my craw is, and I know the city is doing some things about it right now. I think they tore down 56 homes, if I'm not mistaken, last year that was dilapidated. They're an eyesore. There's trash everywhere. The grass is growing up. I mean, I'd really like to get involved in that, to get some of these homes tore down. I don't know how we're going to do it, make these property owners more responsible, but the bottom line is it's just a bad eyesore. And I mean, I can actually even see people at nighttime, some of these people that's going in there and living and sleeping overnight in these properties. We have to do something about it. That's about all I've got to say on that. I know the time's restricted here, but if you get a chance, give me a call. We can talk. I've been in the coal industry, like I said, for 43 years. I'm retired now, and I want to be involved with the city of Beckley even more. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. A reminder, you're listening to a Meet the Candidates broadcast on WWNR Beckley, 620 AM and 101.1 FM, and online at WWNRradio.com. Our second of 2 candidates in Ward 2 is Ann Worley. Ann?
Thank you all for letting us talk today. My name is Ann Worley, and I have served on Common Council since 2004, representing Ward 2. I can tell you without a doubt, I am passionate about serving this city, always have been. I'm the immediate past president of the West Virginia Municipal League, a member of the Planning Commission, chair of the Southern West Virginia Preparedness Partnership, a graduate of the Citizens Police Academy and the Citizens Fire Academy, and a member of the Beckley CERT team. As a member of the Municipal League, I have traveled around the state and observed what struggles the other municipalities are experiencing. We are all experiencing homelessness, drug problems, dilapidated building properties, economic woes, and more, sometimes making us feel hopeless. In my opinion, the biggest problem Beckley faces today is that perception of hopelessness. It is that perception that is shaping our present and future. Good lawmaking, after all, is about the ability to craft effective solutions. We must use all the tools available to make our city great again. But the greatest tool is the talent and the creativity of our citizens. Public opinion and the perception citizens hold toward their community can unfortunately be shaped by a single incident or a number of issues. We must be proactive so that public attitude towards its government will not be apathetic or cynical. We cannot let cynicism dictate Beckley's image. So, what do we need to do? Citizens must be informed about their local government and all of its responsibilities. We have a duty to be transparent and open. The importance of local government must be communicated through the media at every opportunity. Opportunities to interact with the public must be created. There can be no us and them. There is only room for we in city government. We need to take care of what we've got. Beckley has a wonderful history, but a fragile image. This image is based on community self-esteem and appearance. We must make our city an attractive and safe place where people want to be, to live, to work, and to visit. Citizen involvement in our community is critical. What we see depends mainly on what we look for. No one person or council can fix our problems. Only a team of 17,000 plus can trim and repair this flower we call Beckley. I would be honored to remain on that team in the capacity of councilwoman. Thank you for your consideration.
Thank you, Ann. I can honestly say I'm glad that I'm not running for any type of political office, because now that I smell the Armory popcorn, I would have a hard time even presenting. I'd probably denounce my candidacy and go eat that. And so moving on now to Ward 3, we have two candidates as well. And again, staying in alphabetical order, the first of the two candidates for Ward 3, Candy Kozar. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Candy Krager Kozar, and I hope to be elected for City Council for Ward 3. I've been a resident for over 50 years in this ward and didn't realize it until I decided to run. I'm a graduate of Woodrow Wilson and also a graduate of WVU with a degree in accounting. I'm president of the accounting firm Garrison and Kozar, and I feel that one of the greatest problems that we face is preparing Beckley for the coming events of WVU coming in the fall of 17. In preparation for the beginning, we need to focus on making Beckley more attractive and a safer environment for the students, the faculty, and also for the citizens of Beckley. We need to strive to make our areas clean and well lit. Promoting a safe, welcoming environment is utmost in what we should do. This is the chance for Beckley to promote existing businesses and to bring new businesses. With the loss of the revenues from the coal industry, we need to all focus on bringing and making our area the best we can. The university will be greatly enhance our area, but we need to do our part to make their arrival a prosperous one. Again, my name is Candy Krager Kozar, and I'm running for City Council for Ward 3. Thank you.
Thank you so much. the second of two candidates for Ward 3, Mr. Frank Williams.
I want to say thank you to everyone that showed up today. First, my name is Frank Williams. I was born and raised in the city of Beckley. I am a former councilman in Ward 3, and I want my seat back. A couple of things I want to talk about. Number one, the foot patrol here in the city of Beckley, foot traffic. We must put crosswalks at all the major intersections on Robert E. Byrd Drive. We're talking about the students coming in from West Virginia Tech, where they crossing the street, they're taking their life in their own hands. They must put some crosswalks at those major intersections. Also, traffic going up Harper Road. I would like to see in the form of committee, if I'm elected, to have a bypass to go from Harper Road down to New River Drive to offset some of that traffic and make it into a 3-lane, not a 2-lane. Because one of the things that's happening in the city of Beckley, when the roads and stuff wasn't made for expansion. Because that area down there in Sprague's will soon be developed. And that will offset some of the traffic problem they're having up in Maxwell Hill with these big trucks. But I am Frank Williams, and I will represent you. And one thing I say that I will do, anytime that you call me with a problem, I will help you solve that problem or get you in contact with somebody. I would never, when I was on councilman, went to a meeting without my little black book, because you'll never come and say that I didn't get back in contact with you. I am Frank Williams, and I am running for Ward 3 in the city of Beckley. Thank you.
Okay, moving on to Ward 4. We have 5 candidates for Ward 4. That must be a popular location. The first of the 5 for Ward 4 we have is Mr. Walter Leach.
Certainly would like to thank the senior friends and all of you that are here for this gathering this afternoon. First of all, I would like to see some transparency in our city government. We need to be held accountable for all that we do, and in order to ensure that our goals and our challenges will be reached, you must have accountability, and you must have those who are in position that will work for the city of Beckley. Our finances in this city of Beckley need to be on board. You and I know we can't do anything without finances. The crime that we have, it's not just drugs, it's crime. And it's crime all over the city of Beckley. Our church, what we did was we established and we installed cameras on the corner of F and Rice Street to work with our Beckley City Police Department. We have solved many different crimes by having counted those many things there at the church. We talk about better economic development. After $21 million on the Intermodal Parkway, we need to make that work for the city of Beckley. There need to be some better hiring procedures for the police and for our fire department. If we are to handle all of the challenges, if we are to reach our goals, we must first of all take pride in the city of Beckley. Secondly, you cannot do it without unity. Walter Leach, thank you.
Our next candidate in Ward 4 is Mr. James Peterson.
I thank all of you for coming today. It's kind of nice to see people who have real interest in our community. That's the only way our community will ever get better. My name is Jim Peterson. I've lived in Beckley 71 years. I'm 71 years old. I went to Lincoln Grade School, Beckley Junior High School, Woodrow Wilson, Beckley College, and finished at Marshall. I pretty well know the city. In the time that I've been here, I've loved and respected and was very proud to call Beckley my home. Many a times in my working career, I've had opportunities to transfer out, but Beckley was too good for that. It's sad that Beckley is no longer that good. We can say everything, we can blame everything. We need to get back down to being a community. No one has mentioned ordinances in all these talks. I don't think anybody knows what our ordinances are. You call the police to get something done, there's not an ordinance on it. I don't know how many of you are aware of it, but there's an ordinance that you can't park your car in your yard. There's also no ordinance that says you can't park it on the street in the middle of the winter, block snow plows, block ambulances, block police. That's okay. Don't park the car in your yard. You'll kill the grass. I think a lot of people need to get more involved in what we're doing in this town and get serious about it and not make just pretty speeches. As far as my work career, I worked 35 years for Schroeder Industry. I started as a serviceman, finished. I was district manager over 5 states. I was in charge of about $35 million that I had to figure out where it was coming from and how we were going to spend it. And I've got 3 daughters, 4 granddaughters. I got a boy dog. That's the only way I could get the boy. I've been active in Little League. I've been active in the basketball classic that Justice puts on. I've been active in the half marathon for 10 years or so. I've been into a lot of children's things, and I've decided it's time to get active and try to help Beckley get out of its rut, because it is in a rut, believe me. Thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Next for candidate for Ward 4 is Kevin Price.
Good afternoon, everybody. Whoa, am I too loud there? Step back. Thank Raleigh General. Thank you for coming. Thank everybody out there in radio land for listening, taking the time to be involved. As far as who I am, I started with the city many years ago mowing grass. Moved over to the swimming pool, a little bit better scenery over there. Went on to college, graduated from Concord College with a Bachelor of Science in Business Administration with a concentration in management. Came back, started to work at the bowling alley. Continued on from there, went on to the fire department, spent 22 years helping you, helping everybody here, whether it's coming to your house because of burnt toast. She missed that one, that's okay. Or helping you with CPR. I was always there for you. I left the fire department, retired there just a few years ago to take the position as the director of the fire levy, where I oversee $20 million for all the fire departments in Raleigh County. We have increased the fire service. We've increased the service to you. And hopefully we will lower your insurance rates, which is what we said we were going to do. I serve on the board of directors for my church. I'm the president of the West Virginia State Fire Marshals Association. I say all that because I get things done. I'm here for you. You vote for me. You're not voting for me. You're voting for you. You are the ones that I will answer to. Right now, I answer to all 75, 80,000 people with the fire levy. I will continue to answer to each and every one of you in the city as I serve as your council member. As far as the best thing that we need here, we need a better infrastructure. Why do we want people to come to Beckley? We have to give them a reason. We have to give them the resources, whether it's more police officers, better street plowing, things like that. We need to give them a reason to come. So if we increase our infrastructure within, financially responsible, I might add, then we will get more people here. Why do you think WVU is coming? They see an opportunity. We want more opportunities. And in order to do that, we must increase our infrastructure within, make it more appealing. Our greatest asset, just like Councilwoman said, it's you. Look around. We have a tremendous asset sitting in this room right here. We have a tremendous asset sitting out in radio land, listening to this. We have a large elephant in front of us to eat, and that's to make this city great again. And the only way we can eat it is one bite at a time. And I will ask each and every one of you to help me take a bite out of that so we can again make the city of Beckley great. Thank you.
Again, this is WWNR Beckley. We're broadcasting from the King Cole Beckley Auto Mall Arena with the Meet the Candidates Forum presented by Raleigh General Hospital Senior Friends. Next up, for Ward 4, fourth of 5, it's Gavin Ward.
Hello, everybody. Thanks, Senior Friends, for putting on this awesome program. My name's Gavin Ward, and I'm running for City Council in Ward 4. I'm running for City Council because I want to help move Beckley forward. I'm a graduate of Concord University and of WVU College of Law. Upon returning to Beckley after law school, I worked for the Sanitary Board as their staff attorney for 2 years, and I'm currently employed as an associate at Steve News' office. I'm a strong believer in community service. I have volunteered in our community since a young age. I grew up working with Beckley Events, helping to organize numerous events in downtown Beckley like Chili Night, Kids Festival, and the Christmas Parade. I volunteered with Max Toy Fund, and I currently serve on the advisory board for the Salvation Army here in Beckley. Also served on the Comprehensive Plan Steering Committee back in 2013 for the City of Beckley. We were asked to discuss a problem facing our community. I want to talk about two. The first I want to talk about is the pound handling around town. I think we need to establish in a program that if an individual gets multiple citations for panhandling a week, they have to do a certain number of hours of community service. And if they fail to do that community service hours, then we can pursue harsher penalties against that individual. And the second one I want to talk about is the dilapidated buildings. The WVU College of Law Land Use Clinic, which I'm an alumni of, has put together an amazing toolkit to help communities deal with dilapidated buildings. The clinic has a wealth of knowledge that Beckley needs to partner with to help address this real problem in our community. How do we move Beckley forward? We have to start with better communications between key stakeholders and bring our leaders together. We need to reach out to other communities to see how they've addressed similar problems that we face. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We need to see what works and apply that. We need to partner with the New River Gorge Regional Development Authority to help promote our city and draft businesses to come to our city. West Virginia University Institute of Technology is going to have a huge impact on our community, but we have to capitalize on it. And how we capitalize on it is we must convince businesses to look at Beckley by showing them that we have a skilled workforce graduating from WVU Tech that can help make their business successful. Beckley has a lot of positives to focus on. We're a hub for Southern West Virginia, we're an educational hub, we're a medical hub, and we're the Commerce Center for Southern West Virginia. We need to restore our pride in our community by promoting the positive assets that we have and the opportunities for our community. I'm running for City Council because I want to give our youth hope about the future. Make an impact in our community so my generation can live here, work here, and play here. Once again, thanks to Senior Friends and Raleigh General Hospital for this amazing opportunity. I ask you consider voting for me, Gavin Ward, for City Council in Ward 4 in the upcoming nonpartisan election on May 10th. Thanks and have a blessed day.
Thank you. The fifth of 5 candidates for Ward 4, Mr. John Wynn.
Good afternoon. My name is John Wynn. A lot of you know me because I'm an auctioneer. I've done a lot of business in Beckley and Raleigh County. I'm retired from Raleigh County Teachers Association, 33 and a half years. I'm also retired from the military with 3 years in the regular Army and 20 years in reserves. I'm also a disabled vet. I was raised around here, down Route 3. My father was a coal miner. What I want to talk about today, there's been a lot of discussion here today about homeless people and about abandoned buildings and litter. That's very true if you just go out and drive around. It's everywhere. But what I want to talk about is businesses coming to Beckley. I'm sure you all heard sometime in the past that a new business was coming to Beckley out near Harper Road. Well, it's true. Bojangles is coming to Beckley. We're going to go eat some chicken now. All right. But anyhow, I know that firsthand because I'm an investor of that property, and my buddy, my friend, I'm an investor. And it's been quite a struggle to get the closing done on it for the holdup of all the rules and regulations that we had to go through. We've done past one closing that didn't happen. We have a closing scheduled for tomorrow that's not going to happen. So we've got to reschedule that. They just started on the sewer, putting the sewer in this week, and part of our disclosure is the sewer has to be all the way in plus the water. So that will be happening. I'm glad to say it's been like 6-month deal trying to get it done, but anyhow, I can tell you firsthand that it's going to happen. Anybody have any questions? I'll be glad to answer them. If not, I want to tell you that I'm a leader, not a follower. I was a drill sergeant in the military for 14 years. I'm the owner of a small business, and I appreciate your vote. Thank you very much.
I don't think Mr. Wynn's using United Bank, so. Moving on we've got 3 candidates left. We're running over just slightly, but thanks to our good friends at WWNR, they have allowed a little bit of extra time there, so we only have a few more candidates left. Moving on to Ward 5, our first of 3 candidates is Janine Bullock. Ms. Bullock.
Thanks to senior friends for inviting us. My name is Janine Fifi Bullock. I am a candidate for City Common Council for Ward 5. I am a 1980 graduate of Woodrow Wilson High School. I also graduated from Bluefield State College. I have 20 hours towards a master's degree in counseling. I am currently a federal law enforcement officer at the federal prison in Beaver, West Virginia. I plan on retiring in December of this year. I supervise over 500 federal male inmates. West Virginia's population suffers from some of the worst socioeconomic conditions in the country due to the coal industry being the prime source of income. Therefore, the coal industry has impoverished the state of West Virginia, and it has rippled down to Beckley and to Ward 5. The sustainability of generations working in the coal mines no longer exists. Walmart is now the state's leading employer. Currently, the Mountain States population is least educated in the country, with less than 20% of its adult population possessing a bachelor's degree. The vicious cycle of poverty and low levels of education has contributed to such problems as obesity, smoking, crime, drugs, and prescription drug abuse. The beauty of the state of West Virginia and the city of Beckley has been masked by the ugliness of employment which has crept upon us. In order to solve this problem, the leaders need to come together to pray for God to give us the wisdom to solve the problems of unemployment. No one individual has the solution to this problem, but there was an article in the Registered Herald on Friday, March 18th, which indicated $65.8 million will be offered to struggling coal communities in an effort to aid communities negatively impacted by the downturn of the coal industry. If we can use some of these funds to bring infrastructure to Beckley, the beauty will return to Beckley, West Virginia, instead of the ugliness of unemployment. Some of the generations which had to leave our state due to unemployment and no jobs can return to Beckley, West Virginia singing, "Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. West Virginia, mountain mama, take me home, country roads." Thank you. Vote for Janine Fifi Bullock, Ward 5. Have a blessed day.
Okay, one more station identification as well. You're listening to Meet the Candidates broadcast on WWNR Beckley, 620 AM and 101.1 FM, and online at WWMRradio.com. Moving on, second of 3 candidates in Ward 5, Mr. Lee Leftwich.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen and friends of Raleigh General and other distinguished guests. My name is Lee Leftwich, and I've been in this role before. I've had 2 terms of councilman for Ward 5 prior to the losing of the last election, and I'm not really sure why I want to do this again, because I know what it's all about, but my heart is in it. I want to say that my background goes back to the age of 16, being involved in the community under the Mayor Howard McCullough. Over in East Park where I was raised, we was involved with the East Park Center over there, which I was the director at the age of 16, not knowing what I could do, but I had those leadership skills. My tenure here in Beckley goes way back when I was involved with the infrastructure of Beckley by working for engineer firms. the development of the shopping centers, the roads. Those things have given me great insight of how Beckley was and to what it is today. I've worked in the engineering field for over 27 years. I'm currently now the director of the Mustard Project, a nonprofit organization that's been around for 25 years. That shows you sustainability. I've been involved with employment from local government, state government, federal government, and city government. So I've been through all phases of government employee. I've also been involved in nonprofits and also involved with corporations. I've currently owned 2 businesses of my own, currently with an upholstery shop. So I know what it takes to get the job done. One of the things I see in Ward 5 particularly is the lack of community involvement. My buzzword is called community transformation. You'll hear that if I'm elected. Community transformation. We have to engage the local people, faith-based, community-based, businesses, and just local people to solve the problems that we face today. You've heard so much about drugs and crime and those four bits, but it takes the people working together, not the top down, not the bottom up, but meeting in the middle. We, as people and as citizens of Beckley, have a golden opportunity again to make Beckley a model citizen. It's been a city to where we led the state with being the things that other cities would like to be. One of the problems that I see, and I would try to address this problem if elected for Ward 5, is to bring us a model program where I've been involved with this at a national level. I've done collaborations and I've done facilitation at federal, state, county, and city elections that deal with programs. It's called SARA, S-A-R-A, which means scanning, analysis, response, and assessment. This is a model program that they use in bigger cities. It will work here in Beckley. You have to have all the specialist people together to make it work. And I plan to do that in Ward 5 by addressing people face-to-face, talking to them face-to-face, and making that city great again. I'm Lee Leftwich, and I want to be councilor for Ward 5 again. Thank you.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Lee. And our last but certainly not least, our final candidate for the event today, running for City Council in Ward 5, Mr. Jeff Shoemate.
Well, I did say I'm the one everyone's been waiting on because everybody'd be glad to be able to leave. So I would like to thank you for having me here tonight. My name's Jeff Shoemate. I was a Beckley police officer for 23 years. For the last 3 years, I've worked for Ms. Keller at the Raleigh County Prosecutor's Office. And I have a degree in business accounting, and I have a love for this community. And someone asked me, why are you running? And I'll tell you why I'm running, is I have an 11-year-old named Haley and an 8-year-old named Jake Shoemate, who's my kids. And those kids are the love of my life. And I desire for them to be raised in a community that is a community full of love and a community that works together to get through problems that we have. And I'm here to tell you today that it's going to take the community working with our department heads to do that. You take, a big concern of ours is crime. And I applaud our police department. I think they do a great job. That is a hard job, and I appreciate each and every one of them. But it's going to take the community to working together because there's studies that show that 8% of people commit 80% of the crime. Who knows who those 8% of people are? It's our community. We know if our neighbor's selling drugs. We know if our neighbor's doing crimes. Where is law enforcement going to receive that from? They're going to receive it from our community. I'd like to commend, there's Mr. Phipps and Mr. Rhodes who's here, and they started a neighborhood watch. And that is a step towards working together with law enforcement to overcome our problems with crime. And that is what it's going to take. And I'm a big proponent of geographical policing also, that the police have a certain area that they're responsible for to build that rapport with their community and also know who the players are in that community. I think as a community, working together with our elected officials and our department heads, I think we're great. I think we'll be great again. I think we're great now. Yes, there's problems throughout the West Virginia, there's problems throughout the United States, but Beckley's still a great place, and don't forget that. Vote for Jeff Shoemate for Ward 5. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeff. So that will conclude our event for today. I do want to again thank Raleigh General Hospital, senior friends, Debbie Payton, but I also want to thank all the candidates that came today. I think we've got some great ideas that have been mentioned today. We've got some great candidates out here, and more than likely, the folks that you'll see up here will be our next administration for both city and county. So again, listening live, thanks to our listeners on WWNR, and also those of you in attendance and those that have stayed the whole time. Remember to vote on May 10th. Early voting will open up towards the end of April, and the election will be on May 10th. Again, thanks everyone for coming out today, and thanks to all the candidates. Have a good day.
You've been listening to Meet the Candidates for the City of Beckley election, live from the King Cole Beckley Auto Mall Arena and the Beckley-Raleigh County Convention Center. Our broadcast on Newstalk 620 WWNR is sponsored by Raleigh General Senior Friends. The West Virginia primary election is Tuesday, May 10th. Thank you for tuning in to Newstalk 620 and 101.1 FM WWNR, your station for election coverage in 2016.
When Southern West Virginia needs to know news, weather, sports, and more, they turn to Newstalk WWNR Beckley and W266AZ Beckley, 620 AM and